Hi.
Welcome to my Pleasant People podcast.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna thank you so much. I'm gonna just introduce myself a bit first. My name is Bonnie Coase. I have a freelance interior design company called Moco Interior. But aside from that, I have a love for human beings and fellow creatives, and the point of the Pleasant People podcast is to get to know the people behind the brand. Hence, I'm here today with the magical Divine Savages. But before you introduce yourselves, you're going to be very excited by the next piece of information I'm going to say to you, because there is a jingle.
Oh.
Yeah. Immediate thing. I'm not going to ask you to sing or get involved, don't worry, I'm just saving that embarrassment for myself alone. But I do require a bit of guest participation.
Okay.
I need a hey from you, so I'm going to get to you put his tea down. I'm ready. So I get to the end of the song and the last word is day, and when you hear day, I'd love a hey from you.
Okay.
You can do that. You're not going to let me down.
Do I need to click as well?
No, we just want a hey.
Okay, that's good.
Ready? This is going to be magical. Come and join us on the Pleasant People podcast. Listen now and we will brighten up your day.
Hey!
Yay! That was brilliant!
That's a good little jingle as
Thank
well.
you so much. Thank you. I spent ages working on it. It's going to be very moving for people, I think.
I think so too, number one.
So, without further ado, if you guys could just introduce yourselves, tell us a little bit about Divine Savages, who you are, etc., that'd be brilliant.
Yeah, so we are Divine Savages. I'm Jamie.
I'm Tom.
And yeah, we started the brand almost kind of 5 years ago now.
5 years in October.
Yeah, we have our 5th birthday in October. I'm not really sure where the time's gone, to be honest.
I bet.
Yeah, but we kind of started the brand as a bit of a kind of passion project. Kind of Tom.
I worked in kind of the fashion industry and worked at a kind of brand agency, and I loved it. Loved the team. Then I got ill with labyrinthitis and had to take time off work, and then we bought this house around the same time, which is like a Victorian 2-story terrace flat. And because I was just twiddling my thumbs at home, I was like, what can I do? And I wanted to respect the building's heritage, but also there was nothing out there with our sense of humour or our quirks.
Love that.
So whilst I was twiddling my thumbs, I came up with Deco Martini, which was our first and probably one of our most popular wallpapers.
Brilliant.
And then it kind of snowballed.
Yeah, and then we kind of,
we shared it on social media, and then people seemed to like it, and then again it snowballed from that into me.
What it is today, yeah.
It's so funny, isn't it? Because when these things do sort of evolve, people sort of desperately go, well, tell us how you got there and tell us what happened. A lot of the time you don't really know, as you say. You sort of just started and here we are.
Didn't know how to we never created a business, never run a business, and I was working in TV, so very different to the world of interiors, but kind of it was more on behind the scenes, so I did know a lot about promotion and marketing and
that's good.
Business relationships and stuff, so that
which I knew nothing about.
No, sure.
I could do a pretty picture and that's about it.
Perfect team though.
That's why it works quite well, because we both do very different things behind the scenes, so yeah.
Well, we're going to get into more of that next, but I just wanted to do just so everyone's loosey-goosey and so we get to know you a bit, a quick fire question round, which obviously there's two of you, and also if people were to ask me these questions, they wouldn't be quick responses categorically. For example, first one, don't need to answer me yet, his favourite film, I'd be like, oh my god, give me 4 weeks. I just I need to refer back to my list. I need to really think about this. Yeah. But obviously, if you could give me some snappy answers, but also, no pressure. I don't expect you to just, So, favourite film?
Well,
you
for
go
me, it's probably something like Pretty Woman.
Oh, beautiful film. Love that film.
I may have seen it.
The shame. I've got 3, which are Aliens, Jurassic Park, and Death Becomes Her, and maybe Muriel's Wedding as well.
I kind of hate you being so decisive. I just had a list ready to go. That was so brilliant.
Literally, I've been waiting for someone to ask me that question all my life.
Okay, so your favourite desert island, this is normally Desert Island podcast, but obviously we know that's going to be Pleasant People, so obviously. Yes. Favourite desert island product, so you're dumped on a desert island, it could be a book, it could be a skincare.
Ooh.
We're going to be left to right every time, so.
Fruit.
Anything with sugar.
Sure.
Yeah.
Chocolate.
Not chocolate, maybe ice cream.
Okay.
Caramel
Melt quickly
ice
on a
cream.
desert island.
I'd have a fridge. A freezer. I'd have a freezer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
No.
better. Oh, maybe the dog. I'd like to take my dog with me.
Yeah, you could do
And the
that.
cat. Sorry, Ripley.
Oh.
God, favourites. I don't know. For me, yeah, I do love a good book on the beach, but I couldn't tell you which one I'd
Well,
take.
this is the thing. If you're stuck on a desert island, you've got to read that book over and over and over and over
exactly.
again.
So it'd be a lengthy time.
War and
but-
Peace.
Yeah.
Okay. Favourite cologne?
Ooh. I like a bit of Chanel blue.
Gorgeous.
Blue.
Blue.
Yeah.
I like Molecule 1.
Oh, I love Molecule. You can smell that a mile off. Whenever I'm anywhere, I walk into a shopping centre, I'm like, someone's wearing Molecule.
I was once cycling to work, really sweaty. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning, and this woman pulled up next to me on her bike, and then I went off next traffic light, and she chased after me. And then when we got to the next traffic light, she was like, "Sorry, I just want to ask, what aftershave you wear?"
Oh, she was committed.
And then she was like, "It's not. I just want to know. It's for my husband. It's for my husband." And I was like, "It's Molecule 1." She was like, "What?" I was like, Molecule 1.
Molecule 1, I'm cycling with.
Yeah.
Favourite candle?
Oh, I do like a good diptyque. The like, I can't remember which one.
Bois,
It's the woody like,
one.
ashy, ambery one.
Nice.
Same.
Probably
Same.
both
Yeah.
the same on that.
Oh, brilliant.
It just smells of Christmas, which I like.
Yeah.
Would you
Fire.
burn it in the summer just to think like
Yeah, we do.
Christmas
We
is-
do.
They're constantly thinking of the darker winter in time. Like, draw them in sooner.
Then I think of a barbecue.
It's
I'm like,
nice.
oh, let's put on a thing of barbecue.
Honestly, I feel exactly the same. Like, so many people have loved the hot weather. I do not. I just
Same,
crave the big jumpers, big boots, and the rain.
Layering.
Alright when you're
Layering.
when you're on
Not
holiday.
having sweat everywhere.
Yeah, that is painful. I'm
Yeah.
a sweaty human being.
Same.
As soon as I could put a big jumper on, that would be brilliant. Okay, this is like a slightly longer one, so sorry, but do you guys have like and obviously this would generally require more thought, but I'm just going to spring it on you. So do you have like a mantra or an ethos or something that you like live your lives by? Big question to, think about quickly.
I think like in terms of like Divine Savages, then we kind of always from the start have said kind of when we're designing, it's always something that we would like want in our own house,
Yes.
and that's kind of our first
That's
kind
perfect, yeah.
of like parameter of when Tom's designing really.
I think that's a really good shout actually, because I have designed a few wallpapers which are very good. I mean, they're okay. I've done some cushions and stuff, they're good, but the wallpaper I wasn't ever bothered about it, and I thought, would I put it in my own house? Probably not. So, but I mean, I think you guys do quite like it as in front of me, like all over your kitchen.
Well, again, that's kind of what's being a small business. Like we don't have massive budgets to like go and hire a big space.
Sure.
So our house has like as the business has grown, like our house is our showroom really.
Yeah.
And actually this wallpaper you see here, Crane Fonda, was kind of born in this kitchen because we fell in love with the pink tiles.
Yes.
Kind of first, and then we wanted a wallpaper that kind of matched them perfectly.
And it does.
Tom like designed the coral colorway to go specifically with those tiles. So the benefits of working from home.
Yeah, exactly. Best restaurant you've ever eaten at?
Ooh.
Oh, the Haagen-Dazs cafe.
You're an ice cream guy,
I am
aren't
an ice cream guy. No, actually, Chin Chin ice cream in Soho is amazing.
That is.
I take it back.
you? Okay.
I would say we did a trade show in New York
Wow.
in May, and what was the restaurant called though? It was a really cool Asian restaurant
It's
in
called
like Hudson
something in
Yards.
Essex, Beauty in Essex.
Right.
Oh, that was the other one. Yeah,
sorry.
there's a few there.
Any,
Yeah, it was good.
Well, this is a bit of a difficult one to ask as you're sat opposite each other and you're married, but your favourite person?
Ooh.
It might not be each other, you never know. Could be a cat.
Oh, God.
No pressure.
My favourite person, I'll have to say my mum, or she'll kill me.
Yeah.
That means I have to say my mum too.
Yeah.
And your dad.
And my dad.
Yeah.
They've like been really supportive, all of them, like since we like had the idea to like start and like helped us out with like some investment to start with, which is obviously amazing, and now they're obviously like super proud of what we've like achieved so far.
Well, actually, I do have some more quick fire questions, but just to go off the back of that, I always was really intrigued about sort of where creative people like come from and how they're bred effectively, because I was actually watching the Alexander McQueen documentary the other day, and he's from a very sort of, you know, like working class, very normal background, East London cabbie dad, etc. And it almost was like he was kind of, I think, slightly repressed, like his dad was like almost slightly homophobic and things, and it's almost that because he was sort of like, you know, told to keep everything in, he like exploded and went in the absolute opposite direction. But I mean, for me, God, comparing Alexander McQueen and me, wow, totally same thing here. But I was always, you know, I was like a creative kid in my family, and that like totally encouraged me all of the time to do the creative thing and follow your dreams. And I know a lot of people didn't have that, so it sounds like your families were that way inclined.
My dad was very artistic, and he used to do like drawing classes at the weekend with the kids around the table.
Oh.
So but the family always encouraged it, and I always kind of loved art. Art was my thing. As a kid growing up.
No, I like growing up, like my mum was very into interiors as well, and we moved about maybe 10 times in my childhood. As soon as we she'd kind of put her stamp on one place, she got bored and was like, we're off to this one. I was like, oh, we got to pack again. But we never moved very far. It was only literally like down the road.
Like 2 streets away.
Just got settled, Mum. Jeez, I've just got packed. You're making me pack again.
So I think like her love for interiors, I think definitely
rubbed off on you.
Through.
Well, that's nice. I think it's good if you do come from I think it's really important to have. I'm also blessed with my family. We're quite like creative, and I've got a lot of creative friends and things. And I think it's quite important to have a community like that around you, because if you are naturally that way inclined, that's kind of another reason why I'm doing the podcast, to be honest. Because I think if you can gain like advice from other people and build like a little creative tribe, it's a big deal. And when my mum was young, she's a creative human as well, and she was like encouraged by her family and things, but no one really around. My granddad was kind of arty, but no one really around to sort of got her. Like she spent a lot of her life people going, oh, you're weird, you don't really understand, sort of thing.
I guess there's like less, like I think kind of kids today, but like opportunities, I think, like with like the internet and social media, and like you just see all these different options now, whereas like even when I was back at school, it was very much like, okay, you could go arts or you could go science or maths or whatever. And I think now, like you were saying, like kind of your love for Jim Henson.
When I was a little kid, we didn't have the internet obviously, because I was born in 1980, and I really desperately wanted to be in like Jim Henson or Stan Winston, that kind of special effects, creature, puppetry kind of monsters. But there was no way to like write to someone in LA saying I'd like to work at your thing, or even in the UK, like how would you get that contact?
How would you?
It's like nearly impossible to find that contact.
So I find like for me like the birth of Instagram for that is quite an amazing thing.
Definitely.
How would I get in contact with you two, Ethan?
Exactly.
I think I met you at Decorex. But other than that,
kind of that's how
popping up the bar. We were, not you.
But that's how Divine Savages has like managed to kind of grow. Is like I'd say like 95% Instagram, because again, it's like how you connect, you ask people questions, how do you do that, or do you know like who I could speak to about this, and everyone's like so open and like willing to like share their expertise and insights. And
that is true. I think it is I think obviously the internet can be a cruel place, but generally you know my corner of the internet is often quite a kind place, and the fact that if I reach out to people and contact them, and you know people are generally quite flattered and be willing to be able to give you their expertise, which is brilliant, because it's like a free learning platform all of the time.
Definitely.
I mean, even when I was at school, you know, they sort of, I didn't want to go to university just because at that point I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And when I sort of spoke to a lot of people at school, they were like, you're going to uni though, right? And you're going to do English, right? And I was like, and I kept going, I want to do something arty, but I don't really know what. And they'd go, no, uni. And it did get a bit tiresome, so not that I have anything against uni, but I just knew I wanted to go in a certain direction. And then I went into an internship, and then I sort of, started my business and blah blah blah. But there wasn't at all any encouragement, even when I was at school, to push you in that direction.
That's not
it's not what. And I think it's great, as you say, if you have got family or friends around you who sort of push you in that direction.
When I was at school, you did kind of work training. It's called work experience, and I really wanted to do something in the arts or something. And I remember going to my tutor at the time, and I was like, "What? So any?" Because they gave you a list of what your options were, and they basically just said, "Oh, the closest you can do that is working at Argos." And nothing against working at Argos,
No, but that wasn't arty.
That wasn't arty enough for me. So yeah, it was a struggle. I think back in our day, like as you said, like especially actually in my dad's day, he would have loved to have got a career in art. But it wasn't you needed to bring home the money back then.
Exactly, yeah.
And there wasn't the opportunities.
Yeah.
And I think it was better for our generation, but
it's getting progressively better, but still. Yeah.
We're sounding old now.
Yeah, we are.
You don't look it. When my mum was at school, it was like, so are you going to be a secretary or work in a shop?
Yeah.
They were like, option A and option B.
Yeah, exactly.
We're nearly there with the quickfire ones. So if you had your, I'm going to kill you both tomorrow, but I am kind about it, so I'm going to give you a last supper. So you can have whatever you want in the world. We're talking starter, main, dessert, and a beverage.
Hungry.
I know.
I would probably, dessert would definitely be lemon meringue pie.
Nice. I like that you're working backwards. That's so interesting. That's how your brain works.
No, like I'm thinking maybe like a good steak and skinny fries, mushrooms.
No.
And
You don't agree on that?
No.
Starter.
I'm out
I don't know. Starter might be something like maybe like a ham hock terrine with like
God, you're
nice
making me
toast
really
and like
hungry.
pickles.
Oh.
Yeah.
Beverage?
Oh, a good red wine.
Good shout.
Mine would be. Bear with me, I've got the taste buds of a 5-year-old.
Yeah, so have I. Chicken nuggets and chips.
Yeah. So I'd probably like a nice crusty roll with butter for a starter. And then for the main, I'd like a nice steak, medium to well done, with some nice fries and maybe some pepper sauce.
Nice.
And then for dessert, some sort of salted caramel ice cream with meringue or something.
I think we should just call this the ice cream podcast.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot about ice cream. Sponsored by Haagen-Dazs. Hit us up and Jerry's, you know. Okay, what is your favourite thing in your house?
I quite like the nun, if you can see it on one of the cameras.
Probably.
Yeah. So she was.
She's terrifying.
Yeah, she's slightly terrifying, but we found her at Sunbury Antiques Market a year or so ago. Yeah. I quite like her. In a like creepy, spooky way.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
She kind of watches over us.
Yeah, I see that. That's the thing that we'll get into about the sort of divine savages thing. You love a bit of the creepy edge. That's what makes you guys you. So.
Definitely.
I would either go for Jar Jar, who's our ostrich in the lounge, or I would go for the red Fraggle downstairs, which is like a replica puppet, which I got off eBay.
But yeah.
Going back to your puppeting
Yeah.
dreams.
Yeah, I literally am still a child.
We all are, to be honest. Children with responsibilities and mortgages and things. Too
That's
much.
Jamie's responsibility. That's Jamie's. He deals with the bills.
Someone has to.
Last question on the quickfire thing is favourite song of all time?
Ooh. Betty Boo doing the do.
Yeah.
Nice. And a good title.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something classic Madonna for me, probably.
Nice.
Maybe like a Holiday, Go Back, or Vogue. Yeah.
Wicked. Well, I will probably put that in to fade into the next bit of the podcast, which is where I'm going to just, because I did say on Instagram and things, anyone have any questions for me? I had some questions for you anyway, but a lot of people did ask a few questions.
Nice.
And we actually already kind of covered a couple of them. So the first one is basically what were your paths and backgrounds that sort of got you here? You sort of covered it, but if you could give us another little summary about what you did before and how it evolved. And actually, I'm just going to add to that, I would love to know how you two actually met, how it became a thing.
Oh, okay. You have to go way back.
Way back.
We met in 2006. The old-fashioned way, in a little club
called the Ghetto.
Love that.
Which is
now down
the Tottenham Court Road, Elizabeth Line Station.
Oh.
Yeah, sad times.
Yeah.
But it was a cool little pub.
Cool little indie club. And used to have like cool nights on.
Tom asked me if I wanted a drink.
The first guy I ever asked for a drink.
No
I
way.
bought drinks for friends, but never a stranger.
Oh.
So
and that was it?
Yeah.
That was it. We kind of chatted, and then and then we like had our first date like a few weeks later, and the rest is history. And then like work-wise, I went to uni and studied film and TV.
Great.
And then worked in scheduling for many years, which so behind the scenes, and it's where you put together the like daily broadcast and like make sure everything times up. I worked for like a smaller company for like music videos, which is really fun in your early 20s, like scheduling like music, so that was good. And then I eventually moved to National Geographic Channel, and then Discovery Channel, and was there for I did about 10 or 12 years in like planning, so it was more strategy, like planning the year, when we're going to launch all the big new shows and seeing what the competition was doing so that you had a good slot for your show.
It sounds to me like it's going to be a very good background for this, as you
said. It has like long-term strategy and planning and kind of logistics,
all the organisation,
well organised and all of that. So it was great and I loved it. Got to travel a bit as well, so that was cool. But
I used to think that Jamie just watched shark programs all day, every day.
That's your job.
A little bit more. Some days.
A little bit. Not every day. A lot of days.
Sure. I went to uni, studied art and graphics, and then obviously left uni and it's like no jobs, so I worked at HMV, which I loved, and then somehow got into graphics, which then got me into fashion illustration and all over prints and graphic t-shirts, and then jumped again to like a branding company, which I loved, and then somehow got into interiors.
But again, like that background in branding and fashion and print kind of really helped us kind of create Divine Savages and like actually have a really strong kind of brand.
I think it's nice for people to know how things do sort of evolve, because you presume you go to, if say someone was leaving school and they think, well, I want to start a wallpaper company, where do you begin? Do you go to wallpaper company school? Do you go to uni to do wallpaper design? But it makes it's actually quite interesting to obviously you were in TV, but there's so many transferable skills there. So as long as you can kind of do logistics and organisation and a bit of business and a bit of marketing, then that's going to propel you forward. And again, paired with you being the arty one, so you sort of the dream team.
I think also like I used to do all the kind of graphics and illustrations, the designs, the photography, the website, all the visual side, but I cannot talk about my work. I think it's a British thing again. So I'm literally I just hand it to Jamie so he can talk about it, because I'd just be like, here's a bird.
I so feel you on that. I'm exactly the same. I know quite a few people who are trying to embrace the sort of, no offence, but Americanism in the fact that, and there's actually nothing wrong with it. You've got to be a bit more like proud, say with your chest. I did this, but I'm exactly with you. I sort of go, I did this thing and it was kind of cool, but don't look at it.
Don't say anything nice to me.
Don't say anything nice. Don't say anything negative. Just don't even look at it. Like, I don't know why I did it. Anyway, bye, and run away.
I may delete it later.
Literally delete everything later. You guys do seem like a good team. I wonder. Well, I'll ask you. How is it being married and having you work together, you live together, you do everything together? I bet it is strenuous at times.
I know. Well, we haven't killed each other yet.
No,
so
it's good. Not today.
It's been going all right, but it can be full on. And it was slightly different when I was still juggling 2 jobs, and I was still going to the office in Chiswick and had that distance, but obviously then lockdown and pandemic, everyone working from home. But again, I think because we do such different roles,
you can
we're not really
separate.
stepping on each other's toes. I normally work in here in the kitchen, and we have a space in the studio out the back. Tom's at his desk in the living room, so we obviously talk about stuff together that when we need to. And if we're launching a new collection, obviously we talk, but
it's
day
normally
to day,
just before we go to bed. So we'll suddenly be flashing what we need to do the next day, panic, and then he'll tell me what to do just before we go to bed. So then I'll tell him things that I know he has to do, and then we'll just try and outdo each other for how much the other person has to do, and then we're like, I hate you.
I think just before bed is the worst time to possibly do that. Just before you get all relaxed and wind down, here's all the stuff you've got to do tomorrow.
We're quite bad at scheduling like a business meeting because it feels so weird.
Yeah.
Because it's like we live together, we're obviously married, and yeah, we never really like have that formality of
They put
like
a suit
this
on,
week
walk into
you
the
need
office.
to do this.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like, oh, remember you need to do that. So,
I think
It's
that's
normally
nice
in his
though.
dressing gown as well.
I think it's nice though that you're not, you know, I mean, you're not going to be, as you say, you're married, but to be sort of super professional with each other. Because I think a lot of people, particularly, there have been a lot of like startups in lockdown and things. And they sort of go, right, we're going to make a business now. And I think it is good for the mind to try and like differentiate when you're at work and when you're at home. But at the same time, you know, not to the extent that you're going to put a suit on and walk into the dining room and go, hello, good morning, Tom. We have a meeting to discuss today.
chairing the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my worst nightmare as well.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good. And yeah, we like, it's very organic the way that we work. Organic.
Probably.
It's no.
Natural.
Means it just happens.
It just happens, yeah.
I normally work until late into the night, like 10, 11, just
Yeah.
because if something's on my mind,
You
or
just
I
get
want
it
to
done.
get a design to a point where I'm happy.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It'll
I'm
stress
always
me
like,
out.
come to bed, it's like midnight. He's like, I just want to finish this bit. And then it'll be like 2 a.m. he'll come to bed.
I'm
Yeah.
sure lots of people can understand, but it's where you worked on something so long, you want to get to a place you're happy that,
Yeah.
so you can actually sleep and get peace.
Well, otherwise you'll go to bed and you're thinking, I needed to draw that line, I needed to change
Yeah,
that
yeah,
crane, I
yeah,
needed
yeah.
to add that wing.
I hate it,
should've
I
just
hate
done
it.
Should have just
Yeah.
done it.
Agreed.
It seems like, yeah, obviously you've like grown, you work organically, you've kind of grown organically. Were there ever, it'd be fascinating to know, like, you must have had like challenges because you said you were doing 2 jobs and I mean, obviously it's strange to transition from, I mean, as you say, it just kind of happens. It's quite hard to describe to people because you think, I don't know, it just kind of happened. But you were obviously at that job and then you progressed to this job. Were there any like massive struggles? How did you overcome them?
Right.
Yeah, one thing, like, because obviously we started super small, but
Yeah.
it grew surprisingly quickly,
Uh-huh.
which was great, but we were running everything literally like from
Yeah.
our spare room. We
Mhm.
had stock in there, we had to do all the packaging for shipping stuff out, we were doing everything.
Yeah.
And we had found a really cool company that was kind of a bridge between the like proper fulfillment where they do it all
Yeah.
and keep your stock and everything, and it was kind of a bridge in between. And for us as a small business of that size at the time, worked really well.
Perfect. Yeah.
And so that was kind of working, but we had an email from them one day and it was like, sorry, we're closing next week.
Oh no! And you're like, what are we going to do?
What do we do now? And it was kind of panic stations, but as most things like that, when a challenge comes, it just forces you to like find an alternative and work out a solution quickly. And for us, it was our push into, right, we need to do proper fulfillment now.
Yeah.
It's quite nice actually. It sort of
Yeah.
pushes you to like elevate your business a bit,
Yeah,
like next
in a way,
stage.
like it definitely helped us to scale up
Because you had to.
faster
Yeah.
because we couldn't carry on doing it from
In
our
the
spare
bedroom.
room
Yeah.
forever, and it was getting to a point where you could hardly get in the door because
I
it was
bet.
filled with boxes.
I was
cushions.
terrified the box would fall on the
Wallpaper.
cat.
Yeah. It's a building site.
So that was kind of like a bit of a kind of panic situation, but then worked out for the better.
Yeah.
And also
Yeah.
about a year into us launching, we used to use one company that did all our fabric and printed all our wallpaper in the UK, and they just went under without telling us.
No.
Yeah.
So they had
We
no
had
idea.
like orders with them, and
Yeah.
they're like, "Use
What's
doing
happening?"
this." And then
Yeah.
We colour matched everything, so they all matched together, and no one was there to even send our files back to us.
Oh my god.
So we had to start from scratch. But then it did teach us to find
Have-
more than one company
Yeah,
and use
have that
alternate.
well.
Yeah, definitely.
diversify a bit and not rely just on one
Yeah.
supplier.
You think it's the end of the world and you're going to
And then it
end,
isn't.
and then you kind of find alternatives which are actually better quality and
Yeah.
more reliable. So things happen and you're just like,
As well, you know, it's so honestly inspiring in the fact because you do just sort of start up and you think, you know, no one knows what they're doing. And I also think that's again another reason why I want to do the podcast, and the fact that a lot of people you see them on Instagram and it's like they're set and everything's perfect and look at the stuff that we've done. We forget that at the end of the day we're just humans, and particularly if you are building a company from scratch, no one's going to know what they're doing. You're not expected to know what you're doing, but everyone's going to pretend they know what they're doing because we have to.
totally.
And also that can hold you back as a, like if you have, like we had thought about doing like something, like starting a brand or something, but you always get that kind of like
Imposter
voice
syndrome.
and like, oh, but you don't know how to do that, and how do you build a website, and how do you take payments, and how do you ship to America, and it's like all those things, and you're like, oh, we'll put it off. And we did for ages kind of, well, we don't know how to do that yet, but literally, like, I think the best bit of advice is just like, just go for it, and then you're in it, and then you just have to find the answers as you go along.
I saw a thing on, I think Rocket St George said it actually, and it was David Bowie going, just do it if you're in a career or even in life in general. If you do one thing that puts you totally out of your comfort zone and you actually feel really uncomfortable, that's when you're going to grow and that's when it's all going to be better. And like, that's totally valid. Like, I am guilty, particularly after lockdown and things, of feeling totally like introverted in your comfort zone.
Same.
I didn't even want to really go out the house, don't want to socialise with people, anytime I'm doing anything, it's like
Anxiety everywhere.
but then you do it and you think, oh, it's not that scary. So you've just got to sort of just give it a bash. And everyone's, learning at one point. No one is born knowing how to build a business or what to do in life.
Well, like you jumping into the TV show, that must have been terrifying.
Which was amazing, by the way. We were rooting for you all the way.
Oh, thank you. It's like I got kicked out. Evil Michelle. Kidding. That was one of the things that I think as well. I try and tell people that just try not desperately to think about things too much. Like I applied for it, I didn't ever think I'd get in it, and then I did, and then it was kind of like, I do that then, And it was like, and as you say, if you think I don't know how to start a website, you think, give it a bash. Yeah. I'm doing it then now. Let's see if that's how it seems to, how it seems to go.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Going back to your nun, I wanted to say to you that I'm obsessed generally with, like, me personally, with the sort of juxtaposition between that kind of like something that's really beautiful and pretty and gorgeous with like a creepy, weird underlying edge, and that seems to be what you guys always love.
Yeah, I mean, definitely like taps into the divine savages kind of thought and kind
ethos.
And we just love like kind of quirky pieces, like even way back when, like before we even thought about starting the business, we love nothing more than going to a vintage kind of market or a second-hand shop or a charity shop and looking for like the weirdest thing, and so like we kind of have collected
like this is the ugliest cat in the world, but we kind of love it. I don't know where to show it.
There's really a camera, there you go.
It's so ugly.
No, I love it.
But we love it.
Oh, no,
so we like to kind of bring these weird pieces into our home, and then we like kind of add like little quirks into our wallpapers and prints as well.
We do, I think, we do the same thing in our house, and it's sort of like, most people obviously just want their house to be their house, but I totally understand, like, you just want a place that you can relax and whereas me and my family for years have looked at our house as like, let's just make it a ridiculous museum.
Yeah. So, you go somewhere, I mean, we've got
my granddad's scooter in my living room, which is like a red Vespa. We've got this giant, he's like 6'2". You know the little art dolls? You know they're like wood and you used to move them. We've got like a 6'2" one of them. He's creepy as. When I was a kid, we used to move him. They used to. My parents used to literally like put him outside my bedroom door, knock on the door, and then I'd open it. And he stood there. And I was like,
but I think I think that's really cool.
We love like. We always say to people as well, like, your house should be a reflection of like who lives in it. Like,
absolutely.
And for us, like, it's fine. Like, everyone has their look and their vibe, but for us, it's like we hate it kind of when you walk in somewhere and you're like,
who lives
no idea, like
what this sort of person is,
what kind of character are they? Whereas I think when you walk in here, well, I don't know what you thought. When you walk in, who would live in
I thought Jamie and Tom live here.
We've got a really creepy doll that all my friends hate. Whenever one of them stays the night while they're up here chatting to Jamie, I'll go and hide it under their pillows. Oh no! So when they get into bed, it's in the bed, which they all scream and hate, but I love it.
Okay. Note to self, never stay with and you guys also seem to have like inspiration, obviously, from the from nature generally, like the National
History Museum.
History Museum we worked with, which was like
crazy
dream come true for us, like as kids, like living outside of London. But if we ever came up to London with like our family, it was like must go to the Natural History Museum, and then cut to like 2019 and we ended up doing like a collaboration with them and
going through the art
collection.
I'm a huge dinosaur fan.
I was going to go back to Jurassic Park.
I'm a huge dinosaur fan, so I kind of, it was literally a dream come true. I actually had to pinch myself that it was all kind of happening.
Yeah.
And Jamie just sent them an email, just like randomly thinking, "Oh, it can't hurt but ask." And
Yeah.
then when they said, "Yeah, we follow you, we love you," I was like,
What?
the?"
Yeah.
It's actually bizarre to me how I've sort of like written out a rough list of questions and you just sort of like hit them perfectly and like led on from one to the other. Like literally the next question was going to be, no, it's absolutely perfect. The next one was literally going to be, what was a wow pinch me moment? And you just went, that was a really wow pinch. I was like, are you reading my script? So yeah, I mean, you've got the National History Museum. Have you had any other moments where you've, I mean, as we said a minute ago, before we actually started the podcast, you don't ever feel that you've done well, really. Again, I think it's a British thing, and I think you think, no, play everything down, and, you know, I'm not going to big myself up, but there must, if you allow yourself to just be, you know, not humble for a minute, there must have been times that you went, oh my god, look at what we're doing, look at where we are.
Yeah. I think when we got our wallpaper books made, and I could see them because we've got collections and icons. When I saw them and I had them in my hands, and I was kind of like, wow,
This is us.
Done a lot.
We did this.
Yeah.
Jamie's like, we've done a lot.
Tired,
But I was like, yeah, the wallpaper books, we only got them made in May when we did the trade show in New York, but it was kind of, for some people, it was just, just a wallpaper book, but for us it was kind of like a distillation of like kind of 5 years of like work and kind of, just all the photography that had kind of gone into it, and it was like, wow, like we've actually done a lot. But then also like back in the early days when we were like really kind of new on the scene, and it was kind of getting kind of recognition from like some of the bigger like interior people on Insta, like Sophie Robinson, like got in touch, wanted to do like a blog on us, and that was like cool, and Kate kind of mad about the house, and then we kind of started getting little kind of pickups in like, I remember like Living Etc. and Elle were like the two that you like read every month, and then you're like, yes, they're talking about Divine Savages. That was kind of quite a like.
You've got to take stock of these moments, guys. You've got to. Again, I know it's hard because no one ever does, but it's I'm delighted and feel totally privileged to be sitting opposite you.
I literally drove here today like,
this was a pinch me moment for me. I'm wearing a pinch me
like savages today.
you know. So you're already doing it, Tom. No, stop it, not me. I mean, that basically kind of concludes. I mean, we've covered so much about your like love for vintage and things. I mean, the only other like few questions I've got on here, which I think a few people asked, was what is your favourite room within your house? Because I mean, they're all I swore. Beautiful.
I don't know. It's hard to choose. I think I quite like this guest bedroom that we recently did with our Pucci wallpaper, because it's kind of we do the bold maximalist kind of braver interiors, but actually the Pucci is kind of shows like the other side of Divine Savages, and it's calmer, it faces the back of the house, so it looks out into the garden, so it's kind of very calming, but we still added personality and fun with like shape and texture, and kind of got some cool pieces in there, so I like that.
The bedroom. I love sleeping.
Dark spaces.
But I love the bedroom. It just worked so well. When I kind of visualised it and photoshopped it all up, I was like, oh, it's quite dark, but we'll see. And then when it all came together, and the velvets, the textures together, the alternative flooring carpet.
I'm actually salivating a little bit. That just sounds so beautiful.
It just came together so well, and I was very. That was when I was like, okay, I'm happy.
We've often been criticised in our house because our bedrooms are like a room, like a cave. We've got I've got blind shutters and curtains like layered over each other.
You've got like total blackout curtains.
You want it to feel like a cave, you know. I want to feel that when I go into my bedroom, I'm absorbed. It's dark, and lots of people are like, "The bedrooms are so dark." I'm like, "It's the point of it."
Exactly.
For me, anyway.
Exactly.
And I guess, like in closing, I mean, I'm going to ask you a little bit more in a minute, but. What would have you got any like generic advice, like as an overview that you'd give to say people who are just arty or want to start up a business, or all that
Don't overthink it, just
do it.
Start doing it, and then it'll evolve, and you'll adapt, and you'll learn, and you'll make mistakes, but again,
and I think like you have to make sure it's something that you're passionate about, like I think first and foremost, otherwise it then soon becomes a chore, because there's one like vision of like starting a business, but there's so much other like
that goes behind it,
and like stuff and tax and all that stuff, that just comes part and parcel with going in that direction, and if you're not loving the like actual business, like what the brand is or whatever you're
not going to
focusing on,
push
then
through that.
you're going to hate doing all that other stuff as well.
Well, yeah, I think, you know, it is so abundantly clear that, you know, seeing you guys, that you do, have to be totally driven, because if you do want to start your own business, you have to be over all of it. So like market, as you say, even the technical stuff like marketing, photography, you know, all of it, you're not going to dish it out to someone else.
So you've got to be.
And I think we're again very lucky that we're kind of in this together. We know lots of other fellow like creatives who started businesses, and they're like, it's just them, and it's, I can't even imagine how much harder it is just on your own, like having to do
all of that.
Yeah.
You have to like
Emotionally
wear so
as
many
well.
hats.
Definitely.
juggle so many things. So at least we can like divide stuff.
Yeah. And what is next for you guys? What have you got going on? You know, I saw that you had a little your vinyl collection. That looks really cool. What you got?
We're excited.
We've got some. We're doing a new couple of designs for the Natural History Museum to celebrate our 5th birthday, and we're going to be at Decorex this year.
Fab.
So launching them there. We've got new fabric we're announcing as well.
Launching our recycled velvet, which we're really excited about.
Actually,
it's taken a long time to like get there, with loads of colour matching to all the wallpapers and stuff. A massive job, but it's kind of almost ready to go.
You guys actually are very much into the sustainability thing, aren't you?
Yeah,
The website,
definitely.
you're all over it, so good
I
for you
think-
on that.
Yeah, we are actually launching a like eco-recycled wallpaper,
Oh, wow.
which will be part of the Natural History collection that comes
So
out
cool.
in October. So the 2 new designs will be printed on that, which we're really excited for.
We can show you a sneak peek.
Okay. Exclusive, extra, pre-order. That's so exciting.
That, and then we're also moving house, which is like
course.
outside of the kind of business side, but
Which I'm still in denial about.
yeah.
I bet.
So
I mean, yeah,
we're
it is a
kind of
beautiful
leaving
house.
this
Place which has been like great for us, like we've been here 10 years and we love it a lot, but we're also excited for like this new property that we found. Hopefully all goes to plan, and we can get Divine savaging up a new place, which is exciting.
Yeah, you said to me before, didn't you, that we've just got it exactly as we like it. We've done it, and now we're going to move. But that's what everyone does,
Always
you know.
the way.
It's been a labour of love, and it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Well,
Go on.
Sorry, I was going to say my one demand for the new house was it was walking distance to the train station, so I can still stumble home drunk after a night out with my friends.
Yeah, brilliant.
yeah, how do you feel about moving out of the city?
Yeah, I think I moved in '97 and I loved it in my 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
But I think I'm just at the stage now where I just want to. We barely leave the house because we're working so much.
Yeah.
So we don't really
the
take
thing, I
advantage of what's on our doorstep. So
To be honest, even in London, like rarely do. Again, I've got loads of mates, and but basically everyone I know pretty much lives in London. And I've often gone to, because I come in for that reason. I come in to go to an exhibition or go shopping. You know, do whatever you want to, go to see a show, do whatever you do in London. And I go to them, have you seen this new show? And they're like, no, because you'll still get the joy of it, and you probably get to actually,
See them.
Appreciate
Yeah,
more.
appreciate them.
Yeah, I think exactly that, and we'll make more of a like trip to come
Yeah.
back to London and do some meetings and then go see a gallery or whatever. So
Right.
I think it'll be good.
Well, that concludes our podcast. Thank you so much for coming and having me. Coming to my house and having me, coming to my abode.
Molly brought on
I wish. It's been divine. Should we? I'll close with the jingle. We'd like the hey again, please.
okay.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Come and join us on the Pleasant People podcast. Listen now, and we will brighten up your day.
Hey.
Yay! Thank you, boys. It's been a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Cheers.
Magical. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Right, let's turn off all the 40,000 cameras.